and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And I'm tired. Today's been the longest day on Earth, which I will share with you all in stories. First, I want to say welcome to our new subscribers. We are at 398 as of today. So we're very close to 400, and when we hit 400, we will have a celebration. We'll probably have a giveaway as we have in the past. And so thank you all for all of the new folks we have listening. We hope you enjoy our particular brand of nonsense, which is probably not super unique, but
it's
us.
I don't want to save it for stories because I'll forget. But last week I kept thinking the dog was eating something naughty, and I kept looking under, and I didn't see anything. When we were done, I found one of Robert's socks all chewed up.
You know, I saw a sock on the floor, but I didn't think about it.
And I told him, I said, Rogue got one of your socks. No sock. You know, it's like, don't leave your socks on the floor. Yeah. So,
oh my gosh.
She got it off of a chair or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully there will be no sock chewing this week. We are in the throes of...
She is incredibly naughty, so...
I was about to say we were in the middle of September, but it's almost
almost the end.
We only have a week
It's
left?
the 23rd, yeah. By the time you see it, the 24th.
Oh my gosh.
And the new WIP-GO calls will be very soon.
Yeah,
and I suspect I'm going to ignore them.
That's like I've been doing.
Well,
all
no,
this time.
I've given myself all these ornaments to do, which I will talk about in a minute, and I'm just like, that has a finite amount of time to do it. If I don't do those WIP-GO things, you know, so what?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're going first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Eve's going to go first.
So, as you know, one of my WIP-GO calls for, what month are we in? September. I almost said November. That's why I had to ask.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm tired too.
Skipping ahead.
Was stitching with the Housewives Daisy May, and I am using most of the called for colors with the exception of Sally Sunshine, which I substituted for Queen Bee. I don't hate Queen Bee. I have it. I could have used it. I like Sally Sunshine better. Oh, so this is 14 count Ada that I dyed myself, and it is finished.
That's so cute.
I just her little
shoes. Oh yes, the shoes. That's the only reason you finished it. So you could do the shoes. Wow.
So cute.
I was stitching. I did try to keep doing a little bit on the other WIP-GO project, but I was like, this is so close to being done, and I just want to finish it.
Congratulations. That is so beautiful. How are you going to finish it?
I bought it's like a paddle, but it's rounder. Mm-hmm. I bought it when I bought the pattern, and it's got these little tiny flowers like embossed in it or carved in it or something. I don't know. You could see little tiny flowers, and then I have some daisy
ribbon.
Well, I have that too.
Stick on stuff.
They're not buttons, but something like that. I put them on the bee finish that I did on the beehive.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't see it.
And I probably have some bees too. I think this needs a bee, maybe two. Anyway.
Oh, my eyes.
I'm excited to fully finish this, but I probably won't attempt it until the spring, just because I have a lot on my plate. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I just want to double check that I didn't do something wrong. I just noticed something when...
No, don't look.
Okay, it's right. Okay, so there's that. The other WIP-GO project, which is what I'm working on today, is Holly Jolly Christmas by Erica Michaels. And I am stitching it on 18 count Ada in the color Vintage. And I have not gotten very far. I've done work on it. I think I did 2 days work on it, but not a whole lot of time on those days because I wanted to finish. I was just enjoying working on Daisy May, so I'm not going to apologize for that. But I'm going to work on it today because, as we said, the month is almost over, I'm going to have to get in my days to finish my challenge. But one of the things that isn't on my list of things to do, but I'm doing anyway, is the hands-on design Flamingo. This is an ornament, but I am not going to finish it the way it's finished there. I love the pattern. I don't know. I'm not really loving the shape of that. I don't know why. Maybe I will finish it like that, but I doubt.
Can I borrow that lotion that's right there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So there's.
You made me turn my back.
I'm sorry. Thank you. My hands are all.
So here's where I am this week, and hopefully Naomi will put the correct picture up.
I'm sorry. Last week I put a week-old picture.
She was
It was
tired last
late.
week, and she's
It was-
even more tired
I'm
this
even
week.
more tired, and it's late. So anyway, I
So
want to do.
I
I will
have.
do it. I promise. It'll be right.
I kind of was like really torn. Do I work on this? Do I work on Daisy May? Do I work on this? Because I'm really enjoying this one too. But it'll get done when it gets done. Hopefully one of them will be done before Christmas, but who knows? And then my 2023 Temperature SAL by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts.
You get to use some different colors this week. It's been pretty nice.
It
hasn't
has
it?
been beautiful out. I didn't even put the sunshade on the car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
You-
nice.
that tells you that it's
That's
nice.
huge. Yeah,
It's
that's
huge.
like-
So, we did have a couple of days that were over 100, but mostly they were right at 100 or just below. So, we're getting back into the lighter colors for the heat. Less red, more orange.
Nice.
We will never, this has like blues and purples, for winter. Yeah, we're not going to get that color.
We won't get there.
We'll probably be the same colors that were up here. I'm pretty darn sure there's not going to be any purples or blues. However, that being said, I am so glad that I chose to do a temperature SAL this year, because the weather has been wild, not just here,
Yeah.
everywhere. Between the storms and the heat, there was another hurricane that hit the West Coast somewhere. Just wild weather year. Yeah. And then, as I said, I bought this ornament magazine, and I started working on this little sheep, the one that Naomi said she wanted. Because honestly, it was the only one that I saw Naomi said she wanted that one. So I said, okay, I'll start with that one. So I didn't get very far on it. But, I was finishing Daisy May. So this is where I am, and that's his little nose, and that's almost his whole ear. And the reason there's a gap there is that's where his scarf is. His little hat goes up here. And I was looking at the pattern, and the brim and the ball on the hat are backstitched lines. And I'm like, should I do that now before I stitch the hat? Just to get it in the right space?
Oh, I see.
But I don't know. That's a problem for...
Are they
different day.
backstitched or are they satin stitched or
They're backstitched.
backstitched?
Yeah, that's why I said
Or
they were
long
backstitch.
stitches.
No,
Or
it
long
says
stitches, yeah.
it says backstitch.
Okay. I like
So there is, and it is called. It was charted to be done in silks, and I said, "Yet, I have too big a family to be doing that." Treenway silks, Harmony silks. Anyway,
I want it in silks.
yeah. Except
Can't
one
always
of
get
them.
what you want.
one of them is supposed to be hollyhock, which to me means green. But the DMC color alternative is kind of a light purple. And
Maybe it's about the hollyhock flower instead of the stalk of a hollyhock.
yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of Treenway silks. And that's supposed to be in Tranquility Fine Cord. It's backstitching that goes over the scarf. And that's what I think also what makes those lines for the lights. Anyway, I'll figure it out. And it'll be cute. I'll try to make it cute. We'll see. And then I needed to buy DMC floss that I didn't have to make all those ornaments. And I walked by the fabrics. And this, put it this way, this has like a little shiny metallic around the
Didn't you have
pumpkins.
something like that?
I was going to say, that looks familiar.
I do, but the pumpkins are bigger and they're oranger.
Oh. Mhm. I was going to say, I hope you didn't buy fabric you already had.
Yeah, but if I did, it wouldn't matter because I would just make more bags. It's not like buying the same
Sure.
pattern.
True.
And I found this, it's not, what is this kind of pattern called? It's
Gingham?
not plaid.
No, it's not gingham. Yeah, it's a kind of a plaid.
It's like a tartan plaid kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I thought it looked real cute with this. And I have already cut out the stuff for the big bag. Except I realized as I was ironing on interfacing that I didn't cut out the interfacing for the Notions pouch. But, you know. And then I was walking by the fat quarters, and I always look at them, but they were always $10, right?
Yeah.
And I said,
Where
wait
was this? Joanne's?
Hobby Lobby. And I said, wait a minute, I see yellow markers, but they didn't say clearance. They just were yellow markers, and they brought them down in price to $5.99, which is more reasonable, right? And I just loved this color thing here. They're just so pretty.
I think I have those,
It's really neat.
that particular bundle.
That's nice.
It's really pretty. It's
Anyway,
very
it's just solid?
Jewel
Yeah, they're
colors,
solids.
yeah.
Yeah, they have a slight textury color to them. You know,
Oh, like
almost like a watercolor kind of thing, but they're very pretty. And I have plans for those. Whether I'll do it or not soon, as we see, I have not gotten a lot done that I had planned to do. But you know, anyway, that's me.
That's you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go next, since I only have one thing to talk about, because I've had another terrible week. I'm still working on this. I have like 2 or 3 rows done since I saw you last. This is the Yara shawl by, I can't remember who, by Natasha Hornby. And it's going. I talked about the mistake, and I'm on the same section up here. I cannot understand how I made that mistake, but I'm still just going to let it be. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on. I have a new toy. It has nothing to do with yarn or stitching, but it's fun, so I'm going to show it. At work, I have like 2 main jobs, plus I help out in other areas. So I'm always going, like, I meet with this manager, and then I meet with that manager, and then I'm in this meeting. And I was trying to find a way to consolidate all my notes, and like I like to use like little notepads like this. And then I was like, I have so much to write. I've been using the big legal pads. But then when you're trying to use a legal pad, you're like flipping, like, where was that thing? Mm-hmm. And so I had heard about this tablet for a long time, and I had researched and thought about it. this is the Remarkable tablet, and it's a e-ink is what they call it. It's got this pen, and this particular pen has an eraser on the end, so you can so it's just like paper. I don't know if you can see that. I can do a different pen. It's like a big fat I can erase this that I just did with the other end, and it's all electronic.
It's like an etch-a-sketch.
Except you
So-
don't shake it to
Yeah.
erase it. Actually, the pen I have for the iPad works a lot that way.
So I don't know if you can see that. So you can just write on it, and then you can put tags. So like if I'm writing, about a particular patron or something, like a problem, I can put a tag on it so that later I can just go and search all my notebooks and find a particular tag. And then this end just erases. You can see I erased most of it, and which is nice. And it feels so much like paper that I've been like, whoo. Oh wait, there's no eraser. So, and the pen doesn't need charging, and it's very minimal. As you can see, there's like no menus. The pen menu is here. So now you can see down the line here. There's the menu, but you can hide that. So it literally just looks like a piece of paper, and you can have I have some. Let's see. Oh, sorry. 1 second. I have just like you can have lines. I don't know if you can see the lines on there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's lines like notebook paper, and you can have different kinds of notebook paper.
It just looks like college ruled
Yeah,
notebook.
you can, but they have music staff. They have all
yeah.
kinds of stuff. So you can just, when you make a notebook, you can pick what kind of paper you want. And so, anyway, this is my new baby, and I've had it for 1 week tomorrow, and everyone in the office wants one, including my CEO. And so there's on the very front, on the sort of front page, so you can see these are file folders here, and right here is a piece of paper called quick sheets, and it stays there all the time. So it's kind of like a quick notepad if you need to write something. But I've been using, because my friends want to see it, so I've been using it like a yearbook. So like here's from one friend and another friend, and this one was really fancy. Look at that. And then so I'm just letting. Oh, it's not.
So
there
they'd
it
have
goes.
it. So they'd have a chance to play with it.
Yeah, so they'd have a chance to play with it, and yeah. So I call it my yearbook. I'm like, you want to sign my yearbook? It's so funny.
So has your CEO run out and bought one yet?
He's almost there. He was like, Can I hold it? Can I see it? So he signed my yearbook too, but he really likes it. So, and then I have 2 other friends who are like, I have to get one. I can't stop thinking about it.
See, the problem is that when you have to write a lot of notes, I was watching this video of a judge doing something, and she's picking up these papers like this, trying to find the right paper.
Exactly.
And I thought I could never do that job because I would never be able to find the paper. Because
Well, I know that's.
I wrote an email address for something that I need, and I don't know where I wrote it.
Oh no.
I think I might have written it on the notice of the thing that I need the email address for, but I don't know.
Oh no. So that's the thing. It's like, I mean, mostly, I haven't. I mean, I have taken it to meetings, but this week, because we had our conversion, I've been on the phones. But even then, like there's notes where like I need to write a note about this particular problem, and then I have to, talk to the box office manager or whatever, about the problem and then call the patron back, well, I can easily find it. And I can even tag it. Like I have one in there tagged with a particular patron's name so that I know when I go back to work on Monday, I have to address that, you know. So, and you can send pages to different notebooks and like you could, or different files, and you can, it's really great. So instead of like, if I'm writing something in one particular notebook and I know that, well, that really needs to go in that department's folder, I can send just that page and I can send it to a different file, and then it's in that, you know. So for a week, owning it for a week, I feel like it's been really great. Anyway, that's like my life right now. This is my job.
When I worked at Family Life, one of the things, I think it was at Family Life, there were two women that I'm thinking of that were kind of the same. And one was at Family Life and one was at Blue Cross. But I would buy, those steno pads, for people to take notes in while they're on the phone. They could write, Yeah, it was at Family Life. And so this one woman, she was great. She was a nice person. But whenever she came to talk to me, she had like a whole bunch of notes written on sticky notes, post-it notes, and not the big square ones, the little bitty ones. So she had a whole bunch where she would, like, on the phone, she's writing in this little sticky note, and then the next little sticky, because she couldn't put the whole thing on one page. And I'm like, Tom, use your steno pad. And she came with a whole bunch of little sticky notes, and she was trying to explain something to me, and she's like,
that's what I mean. I mean, it's
it reminds me of there's a commercial for an insurance thing, and this daughter is telling her mother that she saves such and such money with this thing, and the mother says, "Oh, let me write that down and put it and make a note on my phone." And she has her phone, and there's a whole bunch of sticky notes on her phone. She's right on the top of the pile.
And then so I love that. I love that I don't have to search for things, because I did, and I was, and I had this notepad, and then I would kind of misplace it, so I'd put more notes on a different notepad, and and I had I put them all in a drawer 2 days ago, like just down here, and I might have to refer back to some of them, but like in one particular, and then I even bought myself a different spiral notebook, because I've been wanting this for like a couple weeks, and there'd be days at work where I'm like, I miss the remarkable that I don't have yet, but so finally last weekend I'm like, I'm getting it, so so it's been good. So anyway, that's me. I have barely had time to knit.
So she wasn't knitting, but she was playing with new toys.
I was reusing new toys for my job. I had one night where I came home and I'm like, Mark, I can't do anything. I need to knit. I need to decompress because it's been a very stressful week. So anyway, that's me.
Okay. Well, I had a good...
I'm actually glad to be here because I have some knitting time. So haven't had much of it.
So I worked a little more on some of my WIP-GO stuff. One of my WIP-GO calls was the Spring Scamper, the Luminous Arts Misty Purcell Spring Scamper. So my goal for this was 6 days, and I think I probably hit it last week, but I did a little bit more. So I did these all, it's hard to see, but I'll take a picture of it. I did these little flower petal things along the bottom here. There's grass under here that goes in between them, but I wanted to put in the flowers so that when I eventually go back to put in the grass, I'm not going to do it this month, but whenever I go back to it, I will have all those little flowers in place, and then the grass will just be easy to do. And then I also did this, just the very beginning of this third bunny that's riding on the carrot mobile. So that is Spring Scamper. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put it away now until next time. And then the same thing with the bear. The bear, this Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods, number 6. The bear was one of my new starts for the month of September. And so I worked on the corner here, these little fronds and cattails and stuff. And I wanted to go ahead and finish this. I have a few more stitches to finish it. But to do a little curly Q on this frond here. But so this is how far I've gotten so far. And you know, I wanted to work on this because to finish this particular color in this area, and I guess because I was kind of stitching in my sleep a little bit at some point, and
stitching.
yeah, and so I was like, wait, that's in the wrong place. Oh no! And I was trying to figure out, where did I make a mistake? And then I finally just put it away and went back to it another day, and I thought, there's not a mistake there. It was I don't know what I was looking at, but it was like, it's okay. And if it isn't, so what? It's just frond things, So anyway, so that is the bear. And then, last time I talked about, I had the little topper for the bell pull from Lindy Stitches, the Black Cat Season bell pull. So I had ordered the topper and it had come in. And I think I showed that little postcard about the swan also that came in the package. And this is for Lindy Stitches Black Cat Season, and this is just the first of the 6 segments to that. But so I also got a notification, I believe on Monday, that the second shipment had come in, and that was the fabric and the floss bundle. So this is the floss bundle. All these colors, really pretty. Oops, let me take that off. Mascara, ultraviolet, mulberry.
The mascara's down here.
There's more here.
I see.
And some really pretty autumn leaves. This is autumn leaves and curry. Mulberry is this dark one, and there's a bright one, the ultraviolet, and Loden.
That's nice.
The green. So they're all really pretty Halloween fall colors. And they came in wrapped in this lovely little piece of organza ribbon. But I was very eager to get started. And the other thing the shipment came with was this long piece of fabric. Stephanie Webb was calling it a skinny quarter as opposed to a fat quarter. It's 13 inches wide and 34 inches long.
So you do it down the whole thing?
Yeah, so it goes, yeah. And so she had a series of, she had a bunch of free border designs that you could put in between them. So I put this one at the top. It says meow. And then right now I'm working on the black cat for this first one, Midnight Walker. It says Midnight Walker Shadow Stalker. So I've done all but the cat and like all the little sort of moon and stars and stuff like that, and then the words. But I've done this top of the frame and the grass, and now I'm working on the black cat. But so I was very eager. This is my second new start. I was very eager to start this, and this one I had a upper center start, so I could start with the O and meow. And this fabric is called Blackberry Latte. And this is 32 count. This is by Grace Note Fabrics. But yeah, she dyed this, I think, specifically for this particular project. And another thing that Stephanie sent that I was surprised by were these little bird pictures. And I think these are from her Bird Crush Club. There's a particular person, she mentioned his name, but I don't remember offhand. But that takes all these pictures that she uses in her Bird Crush Club. And the one, though, I know she had one of her fall designs was this long-eared owl. Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's nice. There's little, I don't know what I'll do with them. They're just little, little pictures of birds. But So she had sent in this when this shipment came, another little postcard with the thankful swan on it that came before, and on my channel, I'm doing a giveaway because I hit 300 episodes, and so if you're interested in that, go to check out my channel. Today is Saturday when we're filming this, so by the time you see this, it'll be Sunday. But I did my video this morning, and I'm running this giveaway for a week, so you still have time to go and check it out. And what I'm doing is my theme is patterns that I have two of. Because last year,
As you said.
yeah, during the Jingle Ball, I bought two patterns and I already had them.
Oh no.
The one of them, Santa's Young Buck, is a Teresa Kogut design, and I thought, I know I've seen this. I'm probably stared at it at the attic or something. That's probably where I know it from. No, one of my viewers pointed out it's on Punch Needle and Printer Stitcher magazine. It was like on the cover of the magazine. So one of the giveaways is a PDF of that Teresa Kogut design, Santa's Young Buck. And then another one is Janine McGowan of the Blue Flower, the Blue Flower. A design of hers called Cozy Cat. And I'd forgotten that I bought it at some point in the past. And I bought it again at the Jingle Ball. So that's again another one of the giveaways. And then the third one, one of the FFOs I have this month is this Christmas penguin. I talked about that before. And when I was at Joann's the other day, and I saw the package hanging there for the kit. And it's a dimensions kit. Comes with the fabric and the threads and everything. And so I went ahead and bought that because, like I said, it fits with a theme of patterns I bought twice. So I bought it again to give away. And then when I got this shipment from Lindy Stitches, she stuck in another postcard. So I have two of those postcards. So that has it says Thankful Swan. It's all in DMC colors. It's very tiny. But so I'm giving that away too, just, for anybody who's interested in it. So if you're interested in those four patterns, I show them all on my channel.
Which you can find through our link tree.
Yeah.
Linked in the description below. If you go to that link tree, you'll see our Etsy shop, Eve's channel, and Beth's channel there.
Yes. So, like I said, I'm doing that giveaway for until next Saturday, the 30th. So I think that's me.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm very distracted and looking under the table. I keep hearing the dog with something, but I keep looking in her mouth and I don't see anything in her mouth.
That's okay. My cat ate a piece of drywall today. Because he's basically an idiot, as we have established.
I took my dog to the vet on Thursday.
Oh, yeah?
Well, her back has been getting bad again and everything. And honestly, she was itching so much that she's scratching herself with her back leg under her stomach.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, you poor dog. and she was sneezing and had a runny nose. And I was like, oh my gosh, is she sick or is this part of the same stuff? And honestly, when she would sleep, she sounded like she had asthma. I mean, just really bad. And I just wanted to make sure she wasn't sick and all that. So she's taking antibiotics and stronger doses of the prednisone that she was on. Mm. But they have a poster in the room that we were in. And by the way, she's never been afraid at the vet. She was vibrating and really scared and actually peed all over the vet's office.
Oh, no. Poor
Yeah.
baby.
So But they have this poster, and it says "Things Dogs Eat," and there were socks and
Batteries
toys
and-
and yeah. And it's, yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's my dog.
Oh no.
So that's why I'm constantly like, what are you doing? If I hear her chewing on something,
Yeah.
because, and I have my foot on something, I felt something on the floor. I have my foot over it because she can't get at it if I'm.
Oh man.
My son, who, he's young and male, and so but he does his own laundry, and I should be happy that he is, taking care of his own laundry. But I suspect his girlfriend is the one that encourages him with these different products that I never buy. So he bought this product, a laundry product, and I didn't know it was little pellets. I just walked in one day, and there in front of the washer and dryer, there was all these little pellets. They look like styrofoam pellets.
Mm.
And I was like, that can't be on the floor. And so it took me a long time because they, it as bad as styrofoam pellets to try to pick up.
Yeah.
I finally got what I thought were most of them out of there. And then I noticed one had been tracked into the bathroom. So I picked it up and I broke it in half, and I was like, that's a chemical product.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, he goes, I know, I spilled it. I'm like, do you not realize that your dog licks everything off the floor?
Yeah.
She could have easily eaten that stuff. And, I'm not trying to, make him feel guilty or anything, because I had already cleaned it up. I wasn't going to be asking him to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
But, when you have pets, you have to be, like the DMC and stuff like that, the yarn.
Yeah.
You don't want your cats to
No.
eat it, not just because it would make a
it's
mess,
so
but
bad.
because especially threads,
It
so
can
dangerous.
Saw through the intestine.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Well, that's like all those stories about people dropping their medication and then the pet ingesting it.
Yep.
Oh, I drop my medication all the time, and there I am. I don't care how long it takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Putting it on the
'cause-
floor. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to, because my dog, when she was very, very, very little, we'd only had her a short amount of time. She was so small. Anyway, I pulled a battery out of her mouth.
Yeah. Gosh.
And I was flying over to the dog emergency room, and I was in tears. And Robert couldn't understand why I was crying, and I was like, well, she was eating a battery, because I can't afford the vet. An emergency vet,
Yeah, they charge you $100 just to walk in the door.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they took her back, but they didn't charge me anything, because I was in such a state about, not being able to afford to have her seen, but I couldn't not have her seen.
Right.
That they took her back, and she brought her back to me, and she said, we don't think. Sorry, I don't know why this is stuck in here, but I can't get it out.
They didn't think she'd actually eaten.
They didn't think that she'd ingested anything, and she says there's no burns in her mouth. We think she's fine. We can keep her here, and we'll have to charge you, while we check her to see. But we think she's okay, and we can send you home with not having paid nothing. And I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fortunately, and then she ate a match. She ate, that one made her sick. She ate the embroidery off of one of Robert's blankets, a memorial blanket that he got from his swim team.
Oh my gosh.
She ate all the embroidery out of it, and then she barfed it up. And then she ate several of Robert's socks. I don't mean chewed on them.
Oh no.
I mean ate them, and then barfed up little black barfs. you know,
gosh.
and so I'm probably more paranoid about what my dog is eating than Minnie.
No, the dogs are like that. Eat first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
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 Oh my gosh, so do you
I'm
wanna-
not supposed to eat this? I guess I'm not.
Do you want to hear about my
Your horrendous week.
horrendous week and my very long day? My gosh, today's been crazy. Okay, well, horrendous week. I mean, it's a software conversion, database conversion. It's just been very hard because it was a very steep learning curve, and we're getting through it. I think it'll be okay, but it was just like working early and staying late. Not as much as, I mean, I can't complain because my colleagues were there much longer than me, but it's just been really hard. Really hard week, nonstop, and I haven't been able to work on my regular projects and stuff, so it's been really hard. But our patrons, as always, have been very nice, and so that's been good. Today we had a company-wide picnic. It was symphony staff, symphony musicians, the chorus, and our board members. And I think there was like 160 people or more there. So it was really neat to just kind of mix and just have everything just on a social level. You know, we're sitting there all together, and I guess because in the past maybe there's been some, you know, it's not always easy for all those groups to mix, and so we're kind of really making a point of it, and so it was really good. I think it was really, really fun. But so this is how my day went. I woke up, yesterday I got home from work, and we were supposed to, the other part of the story is that we're getting a new bathroom vanity. I think I've talked about that in the past. So we chose the bathroom vanity, it's dark blue, and we're like, well, it's coming Wednesday. And then the countertop, we're not sure if that's coming the same day or later. I don't know. But, so we have to have everything out of the bathroom and everything. And we're like, well, we should paint before they tear the vanity out and put it back. Because even if they mess up the paint, we can fix that. But that way we don't have to like cover every inch of the vanity and the granite and make sure no, paint gets in the sink. So we're just like, So anyway, so the plan was this weekend we were going to paint. And we also had this picnic. And I've been beaten and exhausted at work. So, and I worked.
Real hard to put away.
Yeah, I worked late Thursday, worked late Friday. And I came home Friday, and I had been going in early other days. And like I said, not as much as like some, because everybody's been working really hard. So I will say that. But I'm tired. And so I got home Friday night, and I'm like, we were going to go buy paint. So we went to buy paint when I got home, because I got home late. Then we got dinner. No, I think we got dinner first. I got dinner on my way home, because I was so late coming home from work. We got dinner. Then we're like, okay, let's go get paint, because I'm dying. I'm on the vine here. And so we went, and we bought our paint. And then we got home. I was in bed at 9:30 at night. Because also this week I've been trying to watch a movie and knit, and I basically have been sleeping through movies. I rented a movie, and I watched, I don't know, part of it, slept through part, tried to rewind it, slept through another part, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to watch it tomorrow. And, I watched a little bit at work at lunchtime, and then I was like, I'm going to watch the rest. And then by then the 48 hours of or 24 hours or whatever it is you have to watch it were gone. And I'm like, dang it. So anyway, so I've been sleeping through movies all weekend. So I was like, I'm not even going to try to knit. I'm not going to watch anything. I got in bed. I played a couple of, a little bit of Sudoku or whatever on my phone. And I'm like, crashed out. And usually when I do that, I wake up wide awake at 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something stupid. But no, I slept all the way till 6. And I was thinking like, it's like when you have a science project due and you don't do it till the morning of. That's how I was with this picnic. Okay, So you had to bring a dish according to your last name. So it was some people were side dishes, some people were desserts, and some people were drinks. And then the symphony was providing like the hamburgers and hot dogs. So my name's hyphenated, and one of my names put me in the dessert category, and one of my names put me in the side dish category. So I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm like, I'll do both on the fly at the last minute. So I had thought, so I had this video that I found like in Instagram reels of these dump cakes that you can make, and the video is really funny because she's just like 2 packets of this, something like this, and a can of this, and then a cake mix. Don't mix it, and then you put the butter on top, and she tells you how long to bake it, and she goes through like, I don't know, was it 5 different
Something
recipes?
like that, yeah.
And they all look really good. So I had in my mind, I'll wake up early and I'll throw that in the oven before we go to the picnic. And then I was like, I'll get a bag of chips. But the executive secretary assistant who organized it was like, don't bring chips. Everyone's bringing chips. So I was like, oh, okay, I won't bring chips. So I could have made my life so easy and picked one or the other, but I decided to do both. I decided to make these pinwheels that my mom always made, which is a tortilla, and you get cream cheese and green chili and onion powder or something.
Garlic powder.
Garlic powder.
Yeah.
I forgot the garlic powder. But anyway, you spread that, you spread the cream cheese, you mix the cream cheese and green chili and garlic powder, and then you spread it on a tortilla, roll it up, and wrap it in foil and put it in the freezer for a little while. And then you slice it. And then it turns into a little pinwheel. And so I was like, that's easy. That's a nice side dish. That goes kind of with burgers or what. You know what I mean? It's snacky. It's like, I can do that. So I got up at like 6:30. And I'm texting her. What did I text you? How long does it have to be in the freezer? Because I was at the store deciding, yeah, I'm going to do that. No, I'm not. And I'm like, this is so stupid. So I was like, okay, well, if I can get it in the freezer by 8, it'll be a couple hours before 10, and I can cut them at 10, and we leave at 10:30. But I also forgot that it takes time to actually make them. Idiot. So anyway, I'm like, okay, the first thing I have to do is make the pinwheels and put them in the freezer. And then I make the dump cake, because it supposedly cooked for like 40 to 45 minutes, and I'll put that in the oven, and then I thought, and then I'll, work on the bathroom to get it emptied before, so I can paint them. So, but then I was like, oh yeah, I gotta cut them. I gotta cut the pinwheel things. So while the thing was cooking, and also I needed to take a shower, I guess. So stupid. So I'm cutting the pinwheels, and I'm cutting off the ends, because the end of the tortillas, and there's not really cream cheese in there. But there's some. Yeah. But so I was cutting off the ends and putting them in a sandwich bag. And I told Eli, look, this is your snack bag when you want a snack. He ate one. He goes, oh, those are really good. I'm like, see, they're in the fridge. So anyway, so I was cutting those, and okay, when we redid our kitchen, I got rid of this great dollar store rectangular fake crystal plastic tray that I used for all kinds of things like this. Because I was like, I can go to the dollar store and get another one. I don't need to keep that. It's kind of old. Maybe it's cracked. Well, did I ever go to the dollar store to get another one? No. So the only thing I had to take these pinwheels on was Christmas stuff. And I'm like, that's not going to go over. So fortunately, when I went to buy the stuff for the dump cake, which I'll tell you about in a minute, I bought one of those foil 13x9s with the lid, and I didn't know it was a 2-pack. Thank goodness. So I was like, oh, look, I have 2. So I put the pinwheels in one, and then got those all cut, and anyway, I got them made, and they were in the freezer, and I thought, okay, I'll put them in that one. And then I went to make the dump cake, and so this one is 2 packages of cinnamon rolls. And you take the cinnamon rolls out of the Pillsbury ones, and you take them out and you put them in there. And then you put cream cheese frosting And then you put blueberry pie filling, and then you put a lemon cake, and then you cut.
And you don't mix it.
And you don't mix it, and then you put slices of butter all along. And I've made similar things like this before in the past. And I remember that the last time I made that, something like that, it was so sweet I couldn't eat it. But so I was like, I don't care. People I work with will eat this, and they won't care. So. So I made it, and then as I was putting it in the oven, I thought, because it was pretty full in that foil thing, and I thought, you know what, I should put a tray under it in case it bubbles over. And this is how much of an idiot I am. I used my small tray, and I didn't pull the. So, because my oven racks were like kind of close like that, and I didn't pull the lower rack out to put the tray in. I just slide it in there with my fingers, and I burnt my finger really bad. And I'm like, I don't think it's actually under the thing. But why didn't I just get a thing, pull it out, fix it? Why didn't I get my big tray and put it in there? Why didn't I take the cake out for a second, put it on an actual tray, and then put it in? Why did I do none of those things? I don't know.
Because you haven't slept enough.
Because I guess I haven't. I don't know. So I'm like, I don't think that's going to do any good. But it's in there.
It's like a sitcom.
So then, so it says 40 to 45 minutes. So at 40 minutes, I look in there and I can see that there's still almost looks like the pats of butter in the center are not. I'm sure they're melted, but they weren't browned like the rest. And I could see that the edges are like over the side, and I'm like, I'm like, it needs 5 more minutes. So I gave it 45 minutes, and then I looked in there, and I could still see like cake mix in the center that wasn't actually like cooked. Like didn't get melted with the wet with the butter or whatever. Maybe the butter melted too fast. I don't know how these work. And of course, are you supposed to experiment when you're taking it for other people to eat? No, you are not supposed to experiment on people, right? Experiment on your family, figure out how to do it, and then take something spectacular to the company picnic. Okay, so I experimented on my friends. So I was like, okay, well, there's no eggs in here. There's nothing that is not actually, except for the Pillsbury things at the bottom, which I'm sure are cooked. It's not like the raw cake powder is going to hurt anyone. Yeah. Right? I hope not. Anyway, maybe raw flour. I don't know. But anyway, so I was like kind of freaking out about that. So I gave it 5 more minutes. However, from the vent at the back of the oven comes smoke like this. And I look in there, and there is blueberry juice all. Now, unfortunately, my oven doesn't have a what's that called? An element exposed. It's underneath. So it's just like a non-stick bottom. Well, it's non-stick, but it's a smooth bottom on it. So it doesn't scare me as much as it like hitting an element. Yeah. But all this blueberry juice is down there, and it's just burning. And that center still is all powdery. So it's like, I gotta take this out. So we opened the windows, and there's just smoke literally billowing out of my oven. And I'm like, I'm an idiot. And I'm still not dressed. My hair is in a ponytail, which fortunately was long enough barely to be in one, because I'm like, I'm just gonna go like this. And so I'm like, so Mark, my long-suffering husband, was like, you just open the windows. He didn't say anything. I'm like, the smoke alarm's going to go off, I'm sure, which it didn't, which is kind of a concern. But it was like the whole house was all smoked out. And I pulled that thing out, and of course it's all leaking. So my mitts have like almost like a streusel topping stuck to them. And then I put it on a cookie tray. I took the hot cookie tray out, put it on the stove but I also put it on. I don't know what I was doing. Anyway, I put it in the tray, and I thought, well, we can take it with the tray if we have to in the car. And I'm like, this thing is burning hot. How am I going to take it to this picnic? Freaking idiot. So anyway, it finally, because the fan's on in the kitchen, well, I brought Hannah's fan out of her room and it was blowing in the kitchen and the windows are open and smoke everywhere. And so we get ready and go. And of course it's late now because it's like, it starts at 11. I wanted to be there at 11 and it was fine. I mean, people showed up half an hour before it was over, so it was okay. But, so I finally get it like, to cool enough where I can put the lid, because it came with a plastic lid. Put the lid on there and put on a couple towels, so so that Mark carried it out for me so it wouldn't burn anybody. But then when we get there, I hold it kind of up against me, and it got that stuff. You can even see the grease. Oh no!
Oh yeah,
the grease on my shirt. This is my favorite shirt.
Dawn dishwasher liquid.
I know, but I don't really care. It's just a fishing shirt. So anyway. So we go, and the party itself was really fun. It was a lot of fun, and as part, we were like wanting to do lawn games and stuff, and as part of that, Eli had offered to take his Nerf guns, because he has 1,000 million, and so we packed up all his Nerf guns. We did that in the morning after I got the cake in the oven. We packed up all these Nerf guns and all the darts and all the mags that go into the guns. And he was gonna have a ball, like, just building them for people. We get there, and it was at a church. And in Phoenix, oftentimes, especially in the older areas, in order to, you don't like put sprinklers on your lawn. What you do is you irrigate them several times a year, so they're kind of a bowl, and they just flood them with water. And so several of the houses in that area in Phoenix do this, and so
They do that at schools.
yeah, and schools too. Yeah, so we walk in, and there's irrigation in the lawn. So. And Eli's like, it's not too bad. I'm like, no, it's bad. Like, I am not walking in that to finish out all your darts, and they will all go in the water. So I'm sorry. So he was disappointed, but we were talking to my one of my bosses, and I was like, she was like, well, you're inspiring me. I think I'll get my son, because I guess his birthday was coming or something. She's like, maybe I'll get him some Nerf guns or something. And I was like, Eli, you should start a birthday party business.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to have all kinds of insurance and liability signatures, but, it's like, you just come and he just sit there and here's a gun, here's a gun, here's a gun, here's a mag, and with all your darts, and there you go, but anyway, so that was
So if it was being irrigated, you guys didn't get to do any lawn
Well,
stuff,
fortunately, yeah. But so we had it at this church so that we could actually eat inside. So nobody, the kids, some of the kids probably would have done all that, and we did have some like beanbag toss and stuff outside in like a courtyard, but we just didn't have the full blown, So, but it was really nice. It was really nice. Everyone brought tons of food. And I'm sorry, I apologize if any of my colleagues are watching. I came late and left early. I'm so sorry. Because I had to come home and paint.
So, you know how the other day I was looking everywhere for the grasshopper that I thought I had that I didn't have?
Mm-hmm.
I went back over there and got another color that's called strawberry parfait or something like that. That is the lighter color on here. Well, it's not, might be the called for. Strawberry parfait, yeah. I went back there and I got it and I brought it over here and I'm like, oh my God, is that what my dog was chewing?
Is that what you actually think?
No, I mean, I don't know. I thought I put it here with this, but it's not in here. I remember, you guys saw me take everything out, right? It's not in there. And I'm like looking, is it in here? But these are all flat. So it's not in there. It's not over here. It's not back here.
Oh, no.
If they do another video replay.
So I'm thinking maybe I went and got it and then didn't bring it over here. I remember getting it out of the bag over there.
Oh, where you sit?
Yeah, out of it was a different project it was in. But I'm like, how did I lose it from there to here? And so the only thing is like, did it fall off the table and the dog ate it? I don't know.
Oh no.
And that would be string, and we'd have to worry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when
So-
you were talking about your software conversion or whatever at work, we went through two of those at Family Life when I was working there. The first time was really hard because we had it was a new order entry system, and we went from our people using what were called dumb terminals, and the only people who had like Windows-based software were the two team leaders and the administrative assistant and the boss, right? And so I had gotten the administrative assistant job by then. And so, it was just the four of us, and whenever we had like a memo to go out to everybody, I would print it and then make copies and give it to everybody because I had no way to email the memo to each person, right? Mm-hmm. So then we went to this a new order entry system where everybody got a new computer with email and Windows-based software and all that. But we had at that time you could tell like the younger people were real familiar. They probably most of them had computers at home or whatever. But we had like probably 2/3 of our customer service reps were older women who had knew nothing about a mouse and had never used Windows software and stuff like that. And I sort of I had really learned it on the job because I think at home, I don't think by then at that time yet I had a computer. I mean a Windows computer until later or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
But so I learned it.
days.
I learned like how to use Excel and things like that on the fly. When I first got that job. But I had had the administrative assistant job probably a year or so before the new software system went in, and so the people teaching our people how to use it were all in the IT department or whatever, and so they were just tossing off all these terms, and they were going right over the heads of these these older ladies who are like
Yeah.
and so we had it was the conversion was supposed to take place during a certain time, and our department was all shut down, and somebody else was taking the orders for us by hand. Mm-hmm. So they were handwriting orders, and we were supposed to enter them in. And the idea was that during this downtime, that our department would get the new system first, and then we would have this week of our people like entering these handwritten orders at the other
Learning how to do it.
Yeah, and spend that week learning how to use the system, learning how to because they already knew how to take an order basically.
Right.
And so but it didn't happen. And so our people were like trying to take this trying to understand everything. And I remember one of the team leaders talking to the boss, and we were talking, I guess it was on Friday, and she goes, well, maybe if we ran some scenarios, blah, 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 and, one person pretended to be the customer, and I'm like, they know how to take orders. They just don't know how to use the machine. Mm-hmm. And so, I guess it was Thursday we were having this conversation because on Monday we were supposed to go live. Mm-hmm. And so Friday when I came in, one of the people in the up there training was from a different department, and she was showing me how to take screenshots and all this stuff. And so I would take screenshots of the order form, and I would take it downstairs and put it in a Word document, and then and so basically all day Friday I spent like building a page saying, do this, click on that, look for this icon,
man.
and it'll just a little cheat sheet
Yeah.
to enter an order, a basic order. And so all day Friday I did that, and I stayed, I don't know till what time on Friday night, and then made copies and put one on everybody's desk, because they were going to be there at like 6:30, I think was when we opened on and I didn't come in till like 8 or 8:30 or something.
Oh my gosh.
And so I made all these copies so that if somebody had, they had the little cheat sheet on there, they would know
Yeah.
what to click on at least, And so I did all that, and my boss was like, "That's really good. Do you think you could like write an instruction manual?" So I guess because this was like in March that we did all this, and so that summer was sort of our slower time, and so that summer I spent writing a manual for the whole, for our department for all the stuff, and then. So that was,
See,
what
you
we
show
did.
your
So
skills and you wind up with more work.
When I
That's
started-
what's happening to me.
When I started as a graphic designer for this company that I worked for, they had one computer, and it was one of those little tiny Macintoshes, and it was
Oh
black
my
and white.
gosh.
It was black and white, right? And they purchased a computer, a Mac, a pretty nice one, for me and another person to use. That other person was horrible. I hated using it with him. And then they bought us each one. Yeah, because I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't work with this guy. He's obnoxious. So they were always asking me to do stuff with the computer and teach them how to do stuff with the computer. And we got them each iMacs, I think. It was a long time ago, okay? No, what was it? They were colored and they were shaped like that.
Yeah, it was an iMac, I think is what they were.
And one of the ladies would not use it. Every time I came in, she's looking at this little tiny thing because she knew how to use that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this other one is actually easier to use. And I spent a lot of time not teaching her how to use it, getting her to try it. And after she did, she was really happy. It was that little tiny one that...
Yeah, there's the Macintosh.
Yeah, it was that little tiny one that she was working on when I had cut my hand pretty badly, and I could not wash my own hair. So every couple of days during my lunch hour, I would go get my hair washed and then come back. And I didn't care who was washing my hair, you know.
Yeah.
If they're working at a salon, they should know how to wash hair, right? Nobody was cutting it or anything. But up until I had all this gray hair, my hair was very curly. And you just deal with that by, you know, taking care of it a certain way. And I told all of them, she was the only one that didn't know. I said, I have very curly hair. And my hair was maybe this long. And she started blow drying my hair, and she was using the blow dryer without a diffuser on it. And I thought, well, maybe she's just getting the major wet off, because sometimes they do that.
At
right?
the salon, you're saying?
Yes.
Oh.
And then she kept doing it, and I'm like, and this horror is coming on her face because my hair is just going like Rosanna Dana, right? And
Oh, no.
if you don't know who Rosanna Dana is, I am sorry for you. Look it up. But I finally said, stop. Just stop. You obviously don't know what you're doing, and you're making my hair a mess. And fortunately, I had a ponytail holder, you know. But I didn't want to put it on because my hair was wet.
Yeah.
So I went back to work with this hair. And I walked upstairs to tell my boss something, and she's peering at this little thing. And, you know, I spoke to her and she turned around to answer me and then turned back to the computer and did this beautiful double take. And she goes, "What happened to you?" I'm like, "Don't even ask."
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was the first time I really hurt myself. But I hurt myself at work, so they knew why I was doing that, so they didn't mind I being late. I cut a little piece of my finger off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just, you know, some people are so afraid that they won't understand how the computer works, that they make it into this big thing, and it makes it harder for them to learn. And
I remember when I was at one of my jobs, we went from like MS-DOS machines to Windows, and the executive assistant was freaking out because she's like, "When this man needs something, I don't have time to be messing with Windows." Like she was really like opposed. Like she was so scared that because you know that was back in the day when execs didn't do anything for themselves. You know, not like now. But yeah, so you know, she would have had to be typing up his letters and like or whatever.
Well, I still remember
so scared.
You know, having to see the actual code come up before it would go to the GUI, and if it didn't come up, or that sad Macintosh with the little X's on its eyes. You never want to see that, but when you do see it, I think it's funny. I mean, it's not funny because you're trying to use your computer, but yeah. I had this really great computer tech guy that would come anytime we had new computers put in and, you know, to run lines, you know, to connect the computers and all that stuff. And we had some really great conversations about, you know, how the computers work. And not him teaching me about the computers, just, you know, how they're connected together and stuff like that. And I really loved working with him. Yeah, he was so fun. And then we stopped working with him because we didn't need him anymore. And then they sold the business.
When I was working at Family Life, the first building we were in they had rented office space in this building, and then eventually we built our own building, and so when we were moving into that building, I remember going there and one of the guys was lying on the floor, putting the cables through the little holes, and we're getting all set up and everything. And in our area, there was one space that there was a support beam thing, and this particular desk. It was like if you sat at that desk, you would have a little tiny working space and this big beam right there.
Oh my
So
God.
we had some joke that some like I don't know, like the black hole of Calcutta kind of, because we never used that.
Yeah.
Because it was like nobody could sit there. It's like torture to sit in that space. So
Obstructed view.
Yeah.
Talking about conversion. So we got this new. It's one ticketing software to another, and it's been quite the curve. And so when you're finished with an order, it'll kind of time for a second, and it'll bring up a little box that says order created. And then it's been successful, right? So I've learned, though, that the shape of the box comes up before you get the message. And according to the shape of the box, you know whether or not you're in trouble or if it was actually okay. Like, oh, that box is too big. Something's wrong. Like, oh, that's the right size box. Okay. Order created. Okay, great.
Yeah, one of the things I found most difficult to train the people at work to do was to back up their work.
Oh, no.
And I was in charge of keeping all the backups because if the clients paid for the intellectual property, it had to be kept for them so that it could be used again or not. And so we had to have really secure ways of backing that up because we couldn't leave it on the computer. I had the highest amount of memory on my computer, and I remember I did a file. The printed out size of this file was for a trade show, and it was 7 feet wide by 9 feet tall.
Oh my gosh.
And it was one gigantic picture that I did. I used to do digital art. So I don't want to say photography because I made it, I drew it. So these files were huge, right? So you had to back them up and put them on something. And I had a safe where all of them were, a fire safe, you know, because you had to protect that. But some of my coworkers, I'm like, have you backed that up? Where's your backup? I need to see your backup. Well, I haven't done it yet. It's been days. Where's your backup? Can you give me your backup, please? Where's your backup?
Wow.
And so sometimes I would have to do it myself, and then I didn't know what had been backed up already, and it was a mess. But, you know, it's just like, well, even now, phones. You got to back up the stuff on your phone that's important. Phone numbers, photos, whatever, because if you drop your phone in the toilet, what are you going to do?
Or if your phone just decides to delete things.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, so I'm making this same, I'm very excited because I'm making this square, I'm making it up here, and I know I did it correctly, and it looks the same. It's because under the bottom of the cross, that second row of white stitches kind of pulls up because of the slips. Anyway, I realize why it looks wrong. And it's not wrong! So it's going to be the same! Yay! Okay. You'll have to, if you're new to us, you'll have to tune back a couple weeks because I was like, I found a mistake. But actually, it's not a mistake. But I looked at other people. See, if I stretch it out, you can see there's 2 rows there. And the same thing is here. It's just that second, see it right there?
Yeah.
That second row just gets kind of swallowed up. So maybe when I block it, it'll stretch out. So I'm just glad there's not a mistake. That's all I have to say about that. Well, I have got to go.
Yes.
So we better go.
Well, I've got a little bit more of this
The
cat
key.
walking. Yeah. I've got his feet. Almost finished all of his feet.
Well, thank you for joining us for another week.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, get to your friends. We need 2 people. Come on. So we can get to 400. Thank you so much for getting us this far. We're so happy when we have new subscribers, and we love all our old faithfuls as well. Thank you so much for joining us for another week of nonsense. And I'm going to go home and go to sleep.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm going to go home. I don't know what I'm going to do. But
You're going to edit the video.
Oh, I got to edit the video. I forgot to say. I went home and we painted. So that's where I've been, and all afternoon, evening, and it was okay. Except my neck hurts from going because we thought, do we start with the ceiling? Do we start with the walls? And let's do the ceiling. And so I told Mark tomorrow what we're going to do, because we have to wait for it to dry before we can tape it off, right? So we're going to tape off the ceiling. Oh, my arm hurts from painting. Tape off the ceiling. And then I said, let's do 4 inches of very detailed corner all the way around the whole bathroom. And then we can have fun. And not do it last.
Yeah.
And worry about hitting the ceiling with the, with the roller and all that happens, because then you're like, well, I need this color. Now I need that color. Now I need this color. Now I need that color. So, and then we can do the trim. Mark can sit on his butt and do all he enjoys it, actually, the baseboards. He did it in the other bathroom. He did a great job. But anyway, so.
I really wish I could count.
Won't you mess up again?
This is 1 stitch too far that way. Oh well, I have to take it
I
out.
think I need to write on here that this is.
I'm just so excited about this black cat season that it's like I don't want to do anything else.
Don't. You don't have to.
No, I have to FFO a bunch of things.
No, you don't.
You don't have to, actually.
Well, but I want to.
Okay, do you want to do that more or the FFO more?
Both.
You've been getting lots of
But,
FFOs done. All right, we need to finish. So,
Yes. Sorry, I'm like, oh, I gotta write where I am. Sorry. Got distracted. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.